hi there, how are you? Really good to hear from you again, and thank you for keeping going with us and working for your exam. Really know how busy you are and how little time you have, but really good to keep on practicing. It's fantastic. This is a super tough essay, really hard subject. Let's have a look. So nowadays some argue democracy is under its biggest threat since inception. Some argue that due to global capital markets, the electorate's lost control. What do you think? So give reasons and examples. So it's an opinion essay, but on a very difficult topic. Experts have argued, so watch out here, experts plural, okay, and you should have a plural verb, have argued, whether investments in international capital markets have, so again, same thing, investments, plural, have caused detrimental effects on a country's democracy. I personally agree that almost all politicians of developing nations have just become infinitive there, mere puppets of this global capital market. So watch out here, this and markets. So there's lots of little mistakes here on plurals and verbs. So this and markets, so it should be these capital markets, and lost grip over their government. Okay, this essay will demonstrate reasons why. You don't need for and why, either reasons for or reasons why, not both. Global capital markets have a control over constitutions by using examples and from the Indian government and Oxford University. No the. Okay, so there's quite a few little, what I would call silly mistakes in this first paragraph. These cost you marks, yeah, especially when you're writing at a high level, which you are. So it's expected that you don't make these mistakes. Noun verb agreement should be absolutely fine in your head. It's probably because you're typing in a hurry, so check it. Have time at the end just to check if you know that's something that sometimes you get wrong. This bit here, let's change this. This is in the template, which is fantastic. We know this now, yeah. But here, because you've got developing nations quite a lot already, instead of this, why don't you put financial experts and journalists, and then have argued. So think of different people who might say this, yeah. Don't just use this automatically. You can mix it up a bit, and then globally you could have, and then go into this. But it's a good intro. Otherwise, it's lovely. There's ample evidence that global markets have had, or have. I think that should be present perfect. So again, markets plural, and I would change the tense there. Have had a massive contribution on a developing nation's economy and politics. Okay, the central reason behind this is twofold. Firstly, loss occurred by trading internationally is huge, and within a short span, which is detrimental. Okay, losses occurred. I think you should have plurals there. Losses incurred. It's not occurred, it's incurred. Very similar. Good word. So losses, plural, incurred by trading internationally are huge. So same thing. Oh, that's because I've changed it. Plural verb there, so that's my change. Are huge. And within a short span, and happen within a short time span, which is detrimental. Absolutely. It has a huge impact for developing nations. Okay, so we've had this phrase a lot. Can we change this phrase? Yeah. For example, demonstrated that 6 out of 10 countries who use global market trading crash their economy after recession. Secondly, capital investment required at the beginning is not manageable by such nations, so they have to rely on loans. Good. From, change this. Yeah. Therefore, almost every nation. So can we have another word from nation? Yeah. Country, population, electorate. Let me just write those down. So you could have individual, country, population, population, electorate. Yeah, so there's other phrases that you could use there, because if you're just repeating the words the whole time, that won't get you marks. Yeah. Every nation is extremely dependent, ENT, on global capital markets. It should be plural there. For making profits, plural, for which they have to be on good terms with economically stronger nations. Very good point, really good example. So it is really, this is vocabulary and grammar. So repetitive vocabulary and sort of slightly lazy grammar. Yeah, just you know what to do, just make sure you do it right. It costs you a lot of marks. Due to the domination of developed nations over capital markets, comma, capital markets is plural, it is not possible to implement new laws without the interference of such a nation. For example, yes, you might, okay, we might develop it a bit more before we get to the example, yeah? The Indian government, so it's specific, so the Indian government has had or has now present to take approval from foreign banks before enforcing any new rule for trading, or has now, okay, for trading, since the majority, since the majority of stakeholders are these global banks, okay, consistent with the same line of thinking as the fact that, comma, good, in order to maintain a good relationship with them, many a times citizens of developing nations have had to, now again, present perfect, to suffer from harsh laws imposed by the government. Good. Okay, that's very complicated writing. You're making the points really clearly. Well done. Consequently, it's clear that electorates are keener on keen on something, impressing international investors, than helping. So ing here, this is your gerund, and ing here. Okay. Now, then helping the common people. Now, this isn't the electorate. The electorate are the electorates. So the elected, I would say, elected representatives. Yeah, sorry, elected. So this is the governments, really, or the policy makers, are keener on, okay, that should be on. Okay, impressing, and then ing. To conclude from the arguments given, I firmly believe that democracy, comma, especially in developing nations, has lost its true sense and is over-influenced. You could go by over-influenced. Okay, sorry, I didn't see that. You have to put this first. Majorly influenced by global capital markets. Okay, so you've written such a good essay here. It is very complex, very high level. You've done fantastically well. The issues I have with it is the repetitive words. You can see this now when you go through. So repetitive language, try to avoid that. Try to use synonyms as much as you possibly can. And the other problem is the little grammar slips everywhere. So watch out on those two things. Otherwise, very, very good work. Really well done. Good essay. So here you've got two pie charts and a bar chart. So a lot of information to try and get in here. The two pie charts illustrate the proportion of car ownership, that is whether leased, bought or shared, good, whereas the bar diagram shows the number of sales over a 9-year period. So we're going to be using dynamic language here of rise, fall, and the other one is static. Overall, the greatest proportion was seen for bought car ownership in both countries, and Scotland had the majority. Very nice. The least ownership of VW was seen for the shared category in England, whereas in Scotland it was the least category. Good. Citizens with leased cars in England were, so plural, citizens and then were, plural, more than double that of Scottish. Half of the English car owner population bought their car, I'd say, as opposed to 65% of Scottish car owners in the year. Good, okay. VW owners in Scotland had a decrease of of around 40,000 cars, after which, now so I think we have to say sales. Yeah, sales, or equally purchases. Started increasing to reach their highest point, so it's plural here, their highest point in the year 94 with approximately 200,000. We need these commas here when we're writing numbers. In contrast to that seen in England, comma, which had a steady decline and then reached its lowest in the year 95 with around 20,000. Okay, very good. It's very nice, clear writing, really well done. Most numbers of VWs of around 15,000. Now, it would have to be the most. It's a superlative, so we the most, which was a similar number of cars, which was similar to, which was a similar number, yeah, you'd have to have a similar number to, and then rather than of. Okay, to car sales seen in Scotland from the same year. Wow, you've done that very, very well, because that is so much information in there, but you have really made that very, very clear, and you've reported that main trend. So you've done very, very well on that task 1. 2 good pieces of work. Well done, and really well done. Keep on going.